Today on Drawbli, we are drawing
portraits.
Again. You can join us by sharing your art online using the hashtag Drawbli and click the subscribe button to be notified of future videos. Abby, we're drawing portraits.
Again.
That's right. We're continuing on our portraits from our last video. Trying to improve upon those, make them better.
Done a little bit of work in the meantime, just a little bit.
Heading in a better direction overall.
Yes, you were able to give me some very clutch advice on the
smallest of changes.
Yeah, it's funny how those are just so impossible to see when you're the one who has been working on creating the artwork. One thing to see the problem and quite another to stomp on the brakes with a masterful foot and turn in the other direction.
Yes, you can get very attached to what you have, and that makes it difficult to continue forward. Which I kind of enjoy, or I have been enjoying kind of just working on one layer, because you can just kind of plow forward. You don't really have to, you don't have the luxury of worrying about all these layers and trying to keep everything absolutely beautiful and perfect. It's, you just plunge right ahead and whatever happens, happens. I personally use that same workflow when I sculpt, just because, it does have the feature to work with layers, but it's really, really slow to do that, at least when you're talking about sculpting, because sculpting's so slow as it already is. And, for us, drawing is pretty slow, so I have found, at least for me, working here, that I have better success when I alleviate as many barriers to speed as I can. It's just nicer to, get to something that I'm feeling better about faster.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna try painting this candle.
What about painting your character? What about getting some color on there?
I will, but I think it may behoove me to come back with fresh eyes to my character.
I like it.
Yeah, how about you? How are things going?
They're all right. I'm trying to figure out placement for some of these shapes. There's quite a few of them. It's tough. It's real hard.
This is tough stuff. Portraits, we enter into them lightly and we think we're going to have a fun time. It's going to be a picnic, and it is not a picnic. It's a storm. It's a big, bad storm on the day you were trying to go have a picnic.
So,
break from
so you already made a candle once, right? I think I mentioned that in the last video.
Followed a little YouTube tutorial. So this will be a very rough sketch idea of what I learned in that YouTube tutorial.
So, did you learn anything about painting subsurface scattering at all? Did they talk about that? Because wax is a very subsurface scattery material.
I'm not gonna lie, I actually looked at 2 tutorials, believe it or not, and one of them got into that, I think, a little bit more than the other, but I didn't really pay as much attention to that one.
Hold on.
I'm not gonna go in nearly as detailed as the tutorial in the YouTube was. Not nearly as detailed as even the one that I created following along with that. But I am going to make one and just see how it goes.
You should show off your other candle. It was so good.
I could throw that up on the screen here.
It was really cool.
Yeah, it was really
I liked
fun
my koi fish from the other day. Maybe I can pull up my koi.
I will throw your koi up here, so we can have our moment in the sun of look, sometimes we make good art.
Yeah, I was just working on that koi fish in the kitchen the other day. Just sitting there. Only in the kitchen because I was sitting in a chair and then my iPad started to die.
What a sketch pad never does is die.
Exactly.
Let's give it a little orange glow up here at the top.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah, like I said, this is a very quick version of what I had learned. And I don't think I'm doing the wax portion correctly or the... any of it, really. Very little of it.
What do you mean?
I just mean the one in the tutorial had a lot more detail, perhaps.
Detail.
Yes. But it was really fun to follow along. And I ended up watching a couple other of that YouTuber's videos. And they were quite nice.
Yeah? Have you been watching a lot of tutorials recently?
Only over the past couple of days. Well, I've been cooped up, as you know.
Yeah?
Yes.
Why have you been cooped up,
Because
Abby?
I got the Rona again.
Again. Yeah. What are you doing that you're catching all the Ronas?
I don't know.
Oh, that's right. You're a nurse. You work at a hospital.
I had gotten to work feeling, fine. I was like, I'm not feeling like 100%, but I'm here, whatever. And I started working. After a while, I was like, wow, I'm not feeling so hot. And then all the nurses voted, and I took a test because they voted. Because, of course, they have to work next to me. They're like, well, they voted. I bought the tests from another nurse. She had them out in her car, so on her lunch break, she went out to get those. I took them, and wow, she was like, I've never seen any of these tests flash to positive. So immediately,
Yeah.
I was like, I really don't feel good.
Yeah. I mean, you did take 2 tests, too.
Yeah, and they were definitely both very positive.
But you're feeling a lot better now.
Oh, yeah. I'm a little stuffed up here and there, but I think I'm better now. Hey, look how my candle is turning out.
Wow.
What do you think?
That looks really good.
Yeah. I've switched my background to blackish. I
Have you?
wonder how that's going to go for me. How's it going over there?
Solid meh.
Yeah.
But, I'll take some time in between.
Have you done a lot of portraits in the past?
No.
So?
I think being able to limit expectations and know what you're capable of is a good skill to have. In terms of my artistic ability, I would say that I have a fairly objective view, meaning like I can look at something and say, that bad, or that good, and this is definitely not good. But with time, it can get better, and it can become what I would personally consider good. But at this time, it's just not there yet. It'll take more time. And
what we don't see enough of, I feel like, on posted art and stuff by people who create art is part of the journey that doesn't look as good, We see so much finished work that's all immaculate and perfect.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's actually, I think it's so refreshing to see when somebody posts something.
Thank you. That's
part
actually
of the process.
Yeah, that's actually a very big and important part of my YouTube channel, the Polygon YouTube channel. And honestly, because of that, I think when people do see early stages of my work, it's always a lot of surprise. And it's like, I remember when I started my TikTok account, and people were like, wow, that started looking horrible. It's like, well, yeah, like...
I think one of the comments on one of yours was, he really did say, trust the process.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's so funny how many people that don't do art don't understand, like, how it starts. Like, you have a few brush strokes, or you spent, just a few minutes working on one part. It's like, of course it's going to look bad. It's like you haven't even developed the rest of the base forms yet for what you're creating.
Right.
I just think it's funny. I feel like I've beat this topic to death, but it's so funny to me, like, how many people don't understand that art is just like everything else. Like, everybody thinks art's this magical thing, and it's really not at all. Like, there's nothing special or magical about art. It's just like every other skill. You just do it a bunch and you get better. Like, it's just a very, very difficult skill. And it's such a difficult skill and practice that I think people often conflate it with magic.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh, wow. Oh, no, they were born an artist. Like, oh, I can't do that. I actually think because sculpting is such a difficult thing, and 2D art as well, but because sculpting is such a difficult thing, a lot of people will try it, and they'll get in and they'll do it, like once or twice, or, try to make their very first thing, and they'll look absolutely terrible as it is supposed to, but they don't know that. And then, from there, they're like, oh, I guess I can't do this. I guess I'm not good at this.
I guess I am not qualified.
Right, you watch like people like me making stuff on my channel,
I've
and
been
then
doing it for like a long time.
Right,
now.
I make it look easy, so it's like, oh, it must be easy, and then you try it, and you're like, oh, I guess I can't do this, and it's like, no, it's not that you can't do it, it's that it's really, really hard. It's unbelievably difficult.
It is a very, very
I'm
hard
sorry.
thing to do.
I'm sorry that I've done it a lot, and I do make it look pretty easy. But it is very, 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 very hard.
Quite difficult, yes.
And when you get to that point, it's incredibly discouraging because you feel like, I'm obviously not cut out for this thing. And it's like, well,
that might not actually be the case.
That not how it works.
Yeah, or maybe you're just, maybe you're just not cut out for sticking to a thing. I don't know. That's not true.
Well, I think art is special, like I said, because it's so difficult, and a lot of people don't know how hard it is. And then when they try it, it's like, wait, what? Why is this so? Like the shock of it is like so bewildering, almost.
To find themselves just like it's something that looks like it should be a little bit simpler.
Did you end up finishing your candle, or for now, I guess?
Yeah, for now the candle is fini.
Fini? Finito.
I think it's French.
Oh. Wow, you're so fancy.
And now I'm just getting fancy with other things that I don't know much about.
One thing I like about Sam Does Art's style is that he two-tones his shading very often, meaning that, it's not incredibly complicated in terms of transition, like here. Like take a look at the separation from one section of the face to the other. Very crisp, hard edge, there is variation in between there. So like in the light area, you can see some red around the cheek. In the dark area, you can see some glowing under the jaw, some different patches over here. But for the most part, it's a very clear separative area between those two. That's something I thought was fun about that style and that I wanted to try here, which is why I've kind of done what I have done with the face thus far.
That sounds like how you go about things typically.
Yeah, I do kind of like that, cell shaded style, but that's definitely not what this is right now. What about you? Are you just kind of
noodling?
Well, not noodling, but I like how distinct the dark side of the face is there.
Yeah, right now, now. Yeah.
I think the way you're doing that is cool, though.
Thank you.
It's a cool approach.
Let's see. Let's give her an eyebrow. Poor girl. It's an eyebrow.
We were talking earlier off mic about how it would be cool if we traded back and did this same thing that we're doing now, but just traded back and forth. Almost like we're playing telephone on some drawings.
I think that would be really fun.
I think we mentioned that like a long time ago that would be a fun thing to try, but then we totally forgot about it.
Why do you think we don't do it? Are we just too possessive of our work?
No, I think we just forgot. I just forgot. I think it would be really cool and fun to do.
Should we do it now?
Right this second?
Right this second?
Well, I feel like we're a little too far on these ones.
This is my portrait. You can't touch it.
No, I just don't want to do yours.
You don't want to do it? Why not?
You picked a hard one.
I did.
Look, I'm struggling over here enough by myself. You keep struggling with yours, and
the struggle is for real. This is a for real struggle.
For the realest for real struggle I've ever seen. Well, we're going to keep struggling here into the finishing touches of this session. So, what's next for finishing touches on this session?
Definitely. Let's see. I'm getting an eyebrow in here. And I'm just going to finish blocking in the shape of that. Getting the shape I want. Eyebrow shape is so important.
The most.
You know what I wish is that I could just change my own eyebrow shape based on what I thought was stylish. I could, you can always draw them in. But real. They say, I feel like there's so much about eyebrows that's expressive of who we are.
Yeah, that's what I was saying in our last episode. You can't look at your eye and get distracted by it because they're so expressive that they can trick you. You get stuck looking at it and trying to fix it a million times. And instead, it's fine. It's fine how it is. It's going to take some extra pieces in there that you haven't made yet. Or corrected yet to fix it. You can't get distracted. You just got to keep pushing forward.
Right, exactly. So I'm going to push forward and do a little bit of work on her nose, I think. Just a little bit. Noses are still, like, really hard for me.
If you can draw a good nose, you can draw anything.
Well, I can't draw a good nose yet.
Well, then you can't draw anything.
Gosh dang it.
I always say that you should
Good dad
learn to sculpt a nose is a great thing to learn to sculpt with. And definitely I would say draw with, because they're relatively simple, not too crazy complicated, but they got enough complexity in there to give you a challenge. Additionally, if you mess it up and make it look horrible, that's okay, because it most likely looks like somebody's schnoz out there.
That's so comforting.
So you got that to benefit you. Let's see, why else are noses good? That's it. That's all the reasons.
Well, yeah, because we like to work on pieces of the human body. I think everybody I love to work on people. Not that I'm like particularly that great at it at this point, but like that's the fun thing to work on is faces, because that's what we like to look at. Ever since we were little babies, we like to look at faces. So,
Not me.
No, that's not a good sign.
Butts.
No.
No.
Oh.
I think this is a good spot to hit pause. What do you think? Can you put your pencil down? Pencils down?
Okay.
Yeah, maybe. All right, you get 30 more seconds.
Okay, yay.
30 seconds. 29.
Oh my gosh. I just want to give her a little bit of blush.
Do the blush. Do the blush mush.
Do the blush mush. A little blush there. Let's take for my candle here and do this highlight on her cheek a little bit. Get started there.
Oh, that looks awesome.
Oh, thank
wow,
you.
that's looking really good.
Oh, thank you.
Do you remember that thing I taught you about skin? To keep it from looking about saturating your midtones? I think that could help you a lot there.
Oh, good, because I need the help. I don't know what I'm doing, you see.
Ooh, we'll do the thing that we did at the last episode. We'll take a quick peek-see.
Oh, yeah, and give each other some feedback. Fresh eyes. What a gift. So
What
lucky.
a gift.
What a gift. What a blessing.
Luckily, there's two of us here, right?
Yeah.
That
must be so nice. It is.
That must be so nice.
What I kind of think my brain meant to say, like, that must sound so nice to so many people. Like, the idea of having somebody right next to you who can look at it and be like, oh, yeah,
that's bad.
Right now, there's a time and a place, certainly, but...
Thank you. All right, let's look at mine first.
Okay.
What do you got to say?
Clean. Love. So I love how clean it is. And I wish that this was something I was practicing, is exactly what you said. Being able to create good form from very few tones that are all very well delineated from one another. Because that's going to get you into being able to make this style, which is honestly a really cool style that I would also like to be able to make, but I'm more better at kind of throwing the mud on there till it looks like something human-ish.
Humanish.
Yes, so really happy for you and the direction this is going. I can see that you've changed a lot of things, but it still definitely has your clean-cut way of going about this so far, especially in the face.
You
with
gotta
her
get
eyes,
the
her
basic
nose.
stuff first, and then you can make it more complicated.
Yeah,
Look,
challenging stuff.
one step at a time.
You're doing great. I am a big fan.
Well, I don't want your compliments. I want your help.
Okay, so now we got to go to the help. So you've definitely fixed. I feel like the eyebrows are brown now, and I like that. I'm not. See what I have a question. Whose coloring are you going for?
I'm just kind of using my own.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you were going for like the white hair, black, or the kind of strawberry blonde and brown, but I see you're just kind of doing like a yellow blonde and a brown, and that's good. The lip color is really cool. All right, so now what can I say that's actually helpful? That part's hard. Okay. You could put perhaps even more expressiveness into her eyebrows, as in like arching this top one even more. You haven't moved on probably to adding any tertiary details to her hair. Right now her hair looks a little bit like lightning bolts, so if it's curly you want to get more softness into the angles, and if it's straight you just want to straighten it out. But either way, right now you're kind of at a point where it looks like she's got a lot of gel crumpled up in her hair and dried.
Thank
and
you.
It gets a little crunchy. Yeah, but like I said, you might not have even moved on to the details there yet.
So how might I go about that then?
You would just see these sharp corners here.
Yeah.
You would soften those out first of all, make those curvy.
So what I'm planning on doing
Oh yeah, tell me your plans and hopes and dreams.
is to shade, it might be better to show you later. When I sculpt, when I draw, to find where a direction is changing, you start with a straight line and then you can curve it later on. But yeah, I'll show you later what I'll do with those. But
okay.
I think that is good advice.
Sounds like you're on the right track. I see you've added like a different shade above her eyelids. I was gonna point that out next, but it looks like you've already made note of the fact that the eyelids are gonna be a different
Lots of
color.
comments about the eyes.
Well, eyes are a very important part. Here, let me see. I want to see if you have this here. Just a hint of a different color here beneath at the bottom part of the eye that ties in the color that's on the lid. His is very subtle here, but it's present, and I think that presence is not unimportant. Yeah.
It would traditionally delineate a plane change, but there it's more kind of just painterly.
And
that's what I'll say.
The last thing I'll say,
But I like it.
Oh, good. Is that you should consider a more saturated tone for the eyelids. You can see here, this is a good example. We have a very striking orange color here. It's quite subtle, but it's there. And even over here, it's a little bit blurry and harder to tell, but I feel like she's actually wearing like a golden orange eyeshadow here.
Okay.
So that will bring some life to your
Some more
eyes.
saturation.
And it'll bring out the blue. The orange will bring out the blue. Yes, more saturation there. You could even bring in your lip color to match. Some people actually match, well, it's a bold look sometimes. It can be well done though. Oh,
We will try it out.
Yeah, you got that orange in his eyeshadow and orange on the lips and the nose.
All right.
So bringing in all the same color palettes, but yeah.
Very nice.
All right. What do you have to say about my work so far?
Have you just been sampling the colors?
I've done a lot of color sampling, yes.
I think it'll help
And
you
some
to
random.
saturate your midtones. That's about all I'll
Alright.
say, though. I think you've done a really good job. I think it looks awesome. Have you been flip-flopping your canvas at all?
I don't think I really did that much this session.
No? So what I'm doing right now is just showing you a little something where you can just saturate your skin here just a little.
I love that.
And then what you want to do is drag it down, maybe about there. And then what you want to do is take a soft eraser, make it real big, and erase a bunch of it. I would say most of it. So there I'm just doing that around the eye. So like you might want to keep the saturation around the eye, but you might want to... So here's a good example. So maybe a little more around where the candle's shining on the face. The nose is a good spot as well. And just kind of paint out some of that saturation. It's relatively subtle.
Oh, wow. No. That actually...
But you can like decrease that
makes
even
such
more.
a huge difference. And I could not even see how desaturated that was with my unpracticed and overly exposed to this eye until you saturated it.
But typically you want to saturate midtones a lot. That's a good way to go about things. Yes, good luck. And we will do more on these in our next video.
Yes, our next video.
All right, thanks for watching, guys. You can join us by sharing your
Portraits.
online using the hashtag Drawbli and click the subscribe button to be notified of future videos. And this is the part where we say goodbye.
Oh, man. they're coming along.
We're doing things.
We're doing actual things.
Yours looks amazing.
Oh, thank you. Yours is moving in the direction that you want to go in, and I can tell.
Wow.